Everything you ever wanted to know about the Rebel 2 clipper from Stylecraft. So one of the first things we're going to look at, notice how this case does not have a notch on it. Well, this one does. This is called a runner. This is a floating taper system. It's a lot more efficient when it comes to getting the hair to exit out the sides of the clipper. You're going to want to hold this one when you take it off because the spring's really powerful and it's going to push out from the case. Now this clipper's been in operation for quite a while. We've been using this nearly every single day, and you'll see there's a little bit of hair built up back there, but inside the case it's actually fairly clean. We're going to clean that out here. Let's have a look at the non-floating taper system and see what the differences are. Now, one thing you're going to notice is there is no pressure on this spring. It has that blade runner and it still seats down in there. Now, to get this one out, you're going to pop this off. Pop that off. Now, you're going to notice right away there's a lot more hair inside of that case. This system was improved upon many times, but after a while, we just felt it was better to go with the floating taper system rather than this big cam follower. So inside the case, you can see there's a pretty good amount of buildup versus this case here, so it's a lot more efficient when it comes to kicking out the hair. Now the old Rebel has this thing called a Faper blade, and you can see these ridges and they provide you a lot of forgiveness, very good at bulk removal, but also very good at getting down to those skin lengths. This was the blade that started it all for Stylecraft, but now they have the Echo Crunch blade, and this blade has really taken over the industry. And you can see the teeth are skinnier, they're sharper, and they provide a good sound when you cut. And everybody is starting to catch on to the fact that this is going to give you more efficiency when you're cutting because you know when every section is done. So essentially these blades are very similar in the way that they perform, but the Echo is going to give you that much more sound and feedback. So that's why a lot of people are opting to go with the Echo. If you're removing a ton of bulk, I would still say the Faper is a great blade for that because the teeth are a little bit shorter. It's a little bit easier to remove that bulk. So this cutter is the old cutter on the previous version of the Rebel, and it is a shallow 2.0 cutter. The new cutter is actually a blue ceramic blade, which provides you with an awful lot of feedback when you cut. You can really hear the noise, and ceramic is known to stay cooler and stay sharper longer. There's a lot more improvements, but to see those, we have to open the case. But before we open the case, notice that this housing right here is still a little bit open and there's nothing protecting this switch, where if you look at this one, the housing is actually built slightly over the switch. We're gonna have a closer look, but this switch here is a lot more protected than the first version of the Rebel. One thing you're gonna notice about taking off the new Rebel is you gotta be a little careful with this case. You wanna pop that off, and this, you wanna slide this back down if this pops out. And you're going to notice that the motor housing case is a little different in the new Rebel versus the old Rebel. And it's a little tighter to the body of the motor. Let's go ahead, we'll take that off on both of these clippers. Here you have it. Much more protection when it comes to the motor. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of things about this motor that make it special. And just so you guys know, the same bolts that hold on the case are the same ones that hold in the motor housing cover. Let's go ahead, we'll take off the old Rebel housing cover. Now, if we look at the two motor housing covers, you can see that this one here on the new Rebel is a lot more sealed, and it's a lot less opportunity for debris, oil, or any kind of water to get down into the motor. Now, here are the two motors. This is the old one, and this is the new one. Let's go ahead and let's pop these motors out. So I can pop this motor out by popping it out of the back. Same thing on the new one. Notice how it has 3 holes on the top. This is what you really got to protect when you're taking care of your machines, when you're spraying them, when you're cleaning them. You do not want to get anything down into that motor that will cause catastrophic engine failure. Now, looking at these motors from the outside, you would think they're the exact same thing. But if you look at the blade drive on the new motor, you're gonna see the top is much thicker. And the reason you can do that on this motor is because the copper wire that spins around inside of this motor is a much thicker gauge, which allows it to handle heat better and provides you a lot more torque, especially at the low range. The coil that's inside of this one is much skinnier, which doesn't provide you quite as much torque, which is why you could see the blade drive is much smaller. So if you happen to do something stupid like take your clipper apart to this extent, all you need to do to put this piece back in, we want to make sure that your wires aren't too twisted up. I would prefer to do it with this hole right here. I don't want that hole facing anywhere other than right here. So when I snap that back down, it'll be just like that. All right, let's have a look at the motor switches. Now, when I open up this new switch, you're gonna notice there's actually a spring inside there that provides a little bit of tension to the top and also that foam piece. And this thing's been in service for a while and there's hardly any hair inside of it. Now, if you ever have a bad switch, there's something pretty easy you could do. One, you can clean up the contacts here. These are both gonna slide off and you're gonna be able to pull out this piece of foam and then you can pop both of these off. You can clean this up. And you didn't make sure that there's nothing in between that switch there, because when this gets kicked on, that has to touch that. And if there's anything in the way of that, this unit will not turn on, or it could even get stuck in the on position. Generally speaking, I've never actually seen one that I wasn't able to fix by simply cleaning it up if you run into this issue and you don't want to have to send it back. So the two big upgrades to the switch would be, number one, the overhang on this case will help protect it, and number two, the spring that is inside of this switch will add more tension to the arm that turns it on and off. Check it, make sure it turns on. Now, because of this spring, it's going to be really tough to screw that bolt back in. So what I'm actually going to do is just screw one of the bolts back in, then I'll put the wires on, I'll unscrew the other one. This will make it much easier if you choose to do this. And for those of you guys who are wondering, will all of my other Rebel cases fit on this case? No, this case is completely different because of the USB-C charging and because of the cover that protects the switch. Your old Rebel cases will not fit on the new Rebel. First, you see these two holes here? You are going to slot that in there, and you're going to make sure that your cam follower lines up with your motor arm. Next, we're going to take our blade, we're going to pinch it with our fingers right here. Okay, now I want to zero gap this thing pretty tight. First, I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to feel if one thumb is hitting more than the other, which it currently is. If I put this in a guard right now, it would rattle like crazy. So first, we want to shift the blade back this way a little bit, get it more centered. I still feel it hitting this finger, so I'm going to slide it over just a little bit more. Okay, I think that's pretty close to square. We're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten these down just a little bit. Oh, that's perfect. I can feel it hitting both sides. Now I'm going to focus in on the top. Looks like I have that a tiny bit twisted, but I'm very close. And one thing that's nice about this blue blade is it sure makes it a lot easier to zero gap. That's good, and that is good. That's a perfect zero gap. So I'll go ahead and I'll put these down here. So what's cool about this here is I'm going to be able to use this machine to get out the harshest of guidelines. One of the other differences too, you can look at the lever. Obviously this lever's had a big update. It's a lot more ergonomic. It's a lot more comfortable on the side of the case here. So just a recap, the cases for the old Rebel will not fit the new Rebel due to the protection of the switch and the USB-C charging, which is a little bit different. Beyond that, the blue blade makes it so much easier to zero gap. The lever arm is great. The motor is stronger. The crunch obviously is louder with the crunch blade. So there's just so many features here that it really only made sense for them to call this the Rebel 2. However, the Rebel 1 is still an awesome option. This is a pretty big difference here in the Rebel 1. You see these runners? What they're designed to do is they're designed to kick hair out the sides. So one of the reasons why they have to do that is because of the cam follower system actually sits so flat on the back of the blade that there isn't any room for the hair to escape. So that's why they had to do it this way, and it really is a big improvement to go to that floating taper system. What you want to do here is you want to get that part of the cam follower underneath the case. You don't even need the cutter. Underneath the case and pop it in. Now you'll see there's nowhere near as much room for the hair to kick out the sides, and that's why they put in that runner. That was actually not part of the very first Rebels. So this system is certainly better than the first group of Rebels. So this system, although it's better than the first Rebels, you will find significant improvements. I think you guys are going to find that it's going to perform a lot better with that floating taper system. So as you guys can see, this blade is black on black, so it's a lot harder to see. That's a great gap right there. And you guys can go ahead and check it out. The pre-orders are live. You can get yourself a great machine for a great price only at Stylecraft. You guys can use the code LIVE67. There's obviously a lot of work to make videos like this. If there's any questions that you guys might have about this machine that I didn't cover in this video, I want you to drop a comment down below. And don't be afraid to check me out on these lives, guys. We'll be going live multiple times a week. We'll be using any machines that you guys want to see me use. We'll be featuring this one an awful lot over the next couple of weeks. You guys can check it out, see how it cuts, and you guys can see why so many barbers like it already.